Welcome to the Dr. Zwig Show, where I show you how bad states of mind and difficult life issues aren't pathological, but rather signs of personal growth trying to happen. All right, let's get into it. Hey folks, Dr. Z here. I've got my microphone, a cold glass of pear juice, and I'm ready to give you the first in a series of simple methods you can use to work on your problems. In episode 5, 7, and 9, I introduced you to processing problems, and we focused on developing your awareness skills so that you can apply the methods. Don't do these exercises while you're driving, operating machinery, or doing anything that requires your attention. The awareness skills you learned aid you with observing your inner world and directing your attention to its various elements. Now let's use this to work on a problem. But what exactly do I mean by a problem? I mean whatever disturbs your state of mind or causes you to suffer. This includes anything from minor annoyances to major life issues. Problems show up in a lot of different ways, but there are 6 main areas. Number 1, moods. For example, depressed moods, anxious feelings, fear, worry, frustration, confusion, and doubt. Number 2, relationships. For example, with loved ones, people at work, or people anywhere. Number 3, physical health. For example, back pain, weight issues, or various medical diseases. Number 4, job and money concerns. For example, financial worry, conflicts at work, or unemployment. Number 5, social issues. For example, racism, sexism, and homophobia. And number 6, spiritual issues. For example, your relationship with a higher power, God, nature, or your search for meaning in life. And of course, all of these can overlap. Choose one of these areas you'd like to focus on and identify a specific problem you have. Now, each one of you is totally unique in how you process things. So at each step of the exercise, turn the podcast on and off however you need. Now close your eyes and spend a moment reviewing your issue. Don't try to do anything about it or figure anything out. Just go over it. Feel it. Review your thoughts about it. Just sit with it for a minute. Now, take a step back, remove yourself somewhat, and observe yourself having this issue. Don't engage with it. Just notice, witness, observe, watch yourself having this experience. Look at yourself entangled in the problem and observe the various thoughts and feelings running through you. Now, shift your focus. Put your issue aside and think of a time in your life when you were incredibly ecstatic. You felt high, on top of the world, in the flow. Everything was going right and coming together, and you just felt awesome and exuberant, content and happy. Maybe it was just for a brief minute. Maybe it was for a whole day, or maybe it was for longer than that. Perhaps it occurred in a relationship, or at work, or during your spare time, or even in a fantasy. Take a moment and search your memory for such an experience. Now, go back in time to that experience. Use all your senses to re-access it. Start by visualizing it. What do you see? Whatever it is, see it in great detail. What did you look like? What kind of environment and situation were you in? Were there other people involved? Can you see the whole scene? Take a good look. Now feel what you felt. Really get into it. Make the feelings even stronger. Notice where in your body you feel them, and then feel them in your whole body. Even make your mind feel like that. Let your whole being become this wonderful feeling. Are there any sounds associated with the memory? There don't have to be, but if there are, listen closely to those sounds again. Make them louder and more intense. Listen in super magnified detail. Are there body movements you can recall? If so, move your body like you did back then so that you can feel those movements again. Now use all these senses and enjoy the experience like you're there right now. Revel in it. Bring it to life. Okay, in this positive frame of mind and heart, how would you deal with your current problem? Look back at your problem from this awesome positive state of being. Sense your problem from this special state of mind and body, and give yourself some advice on what to do. How does your happy, ecstatic self relate to your current situation? How does it see the issue? How does it feel about it? What does it want you to do with it? Here are some questions to help you go further. How could this liberated part of you help you in your inner life, your relationships, your work, and your spirituality? Turn off the podcast if you need to answer all these questions. Can you identify what blocks you from experiencing this liberated feeling more often? Is it an inner critic, a fear, an oppressive person in your life or in the world, or a belief about life that suppresses this feeling? If your awesome feeling could speak, what would it say to the thing that blocks you? If you want to go a step further, you can turn off the podcast and have an inner dialogue between your liberated self and the blocker. Here's the takeaway. If you reflect on and re-access the most high and special moments of your life and identify what made them meaningful, you've discovered one of the keys to how you should be living. This spirit is always in you, waiting to be tapped into and expressed. Great work! You've just learned how to use a joyous experience to transform a problem. You did this by reviewing your experience of your problem, then putting it aside and revisiting a positive, high experience from your past, amplifying it by seeing, feeling, hearing, and moving it, and then applying this frame of mind and attitude to your problem. This is a simple method you can use at any time for anything that's bothering you. It's a way to connect with your highest self, the most conscious version of who you are, and come at your problem from this place instead of from a place that's totally entangled in the issue. Take as much time as you need to absorb what you just did. And if you feel like hearing some bonus material, where I share some of my clients' experiences doing this exercise, that's coming up next. Here are some of my clients' experiences doing this exercise. A 38-year-old depressed client remembered an ecstatic experience of running across a park as a child and feeling the wind carrying her. When we re-accessed the experience, she looked at her depressed self from this uplifted state of mind and realized that her conventional idea of what it is to be a grown-up had made her despondent. It was the beginning to her changing her whole attitude toward life by allowing the playful, childlike part of herself to show her how to live. A 47-year-old client complained of an inner critic that made him feel inferior, not successful enough, handsome enough, etc. He remembered the feeling he had had with his last girlfriend. Her love had made him feel special, like he was walking on air 24/7. When he reflected on his self-critical nature from this feeling of being loved, he realized he was actually a great man, and that all he needed to do was hone in on this sense of feeling special. It was already within him. He just hadn't realized it. A 21-year-old client had panic attacks that seemed to happen for no rhyme or reason. She remembered the ecstatic but forbidden feeling she had had when she called her dad an abusive asshole and ran away at age 14. She said it was the one moment in her life she felt powerful. Of course, she was caught and brought back home the same night, but the memory stayed with her. When we re-accessed the feeling of power and freedom she had experienced, she realized her panic attacks were her unconscious fear of her father, and that now she had the inner strength to stand up for herself. It was the beginning of her transforming her anxiety. See you next time. Stay aware. You can follow me on social media at Dr. Zwig, and you can sign up on the mailing list at drzwig.com, where you'll receive discounts on private coaching, events, and merchandise starting in 2021, weekly personal growth tips, and lots more. Be well.